This is different than any other AVP tournament.
It is the granddaddy of them all.
It's the Wimbledon of beach volleyball. It is the event of all events to win.
There is the most teams of any event all competing for a chance to have their name immortalized.
Get your name on the pier, and that's something that will always be theirs.
The ultimate goal as an AVP player and as a beach player to wear this tournament.
So many games, so much action. It's truly just iconic. This is the Manhattan Beach Open.
This is the Manhattan Beach Open.
This is the Manhattan Beach Open.
Welcome you to the progressive AVP Manhattan Beach Open. Legends are made here and legacies are shaped here. A tournament carrying the weight of bronze. The Manhattan Beach Open resides in a league of its own. A draw as deep as the sands of the South Bay, dwindled down to just 4. Only one of the 8 remaining athletes on the men's side of the field have ever won a Manhattan Beach Open title. It's time for the semifinals. Basey and Hurst facing off against Lotman and Partain. Hi, everyone. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside the Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. It's Championship Sunday. This is the one everyone sets their eyes to. What are the emotions like for the 4 athletes about to take the stand?
Well, we heard Troy in our opening talk about immortalization, right? Everyone wants to win an AVP title, but this one is special because you get that plaque with your name on the pier. It's there for the rest of time, right? So long as the pier is there, your name is there, you're signified as the champion, right? You mentioned how few remaining athletes have actually had that opportunity, so the nerves are high. You're right on the doorstep of that history. Can you get all the way there today?
Over 100 men's teams entered the tournament come Thursday. Now just 4 remaining as you look at the winners bracket. Lotman and Partain, you see them there in the quarterfinal. They actually took a loss to Benish and Crab. That's Andy Benish and Taylor Crab. They worked their way back through the losers final to find themselves in the semifinal against the 12 seed Gage Basey and Thomas Hurst. As Schalk and Shaw are soon approaching, they will face off against the 2 seed and Andy Benish and Taylor Crab. We mentioned just one player has won a Manhattan Beach title on the men's side. That is Taylor Crab. He now plays alongside Andy Benish, his old partner, about to take the sand, and Miles Partain. They did make a final back in 2024 after their Olympic berth in Paris. Straight from Paris down to the sands of Manhattan Beach, but unable to clinch that ultimate bronze plaque as you look to the road to for Gage Basey and Thomas Hurst. What a moment for the 12 seed. It's been all victory on their side, 21-28-13, and then the big test, the 2-1 win over Miles Evans and Alex Rangieri.
Well, yeah, you can see the Colorado Cupcakes t-shirts there. This is a team out of Colorado, which, if you don't know, actually has quite a beach volleyball culture. Right, these guys are going to play an extremely unique brand of volleyball, but they are very skilled, they are very talented, and they're going to put up quite a test for Partain and Lotman today.
You need to take a look at Thomas Hurst coming out. He's going to be rocking that fedora the entire match. We'll dig into the origins of that hat. Let me tell you, it might not be what you would expect it to be. The 6'4" blocker out of Plano, Texas, but yes, nonetheless, Colorado for this man, 22 years old, Gage Basey. I caught up with him this morning. He said his whole family was out here in Manhattan Beach, and they had to get on a flight last night to get back home to Colorado. And they said, don't worry, because we're flying back home. You're going to make Sunday. So they're tuning in back in Colorado, surely cheering on this young buck, just 22 years of age, as is his partner.
Yeah, a very young squad, but skilled beyond their years, perhaps, and equal to the moment, it would seem, making it all the way to Sunday.
And the Olympians on the opposite side of the net. Paul Lotman back in 2012 when the indoor phase again with the men's indoor national team, and Miles Partain got it done in 2024. The road to pretty much smooth sailing until that meeting with the #2 seed and Andy Benish and Taylor Craft. But big storyline here is the fact that Miles Partain, or excuse me, Paul Lotman dealing with some shoulder pain right now.
Yeah, it came out of socket in one of their matches on Saturday, and it is heavily taped up. We saw him warming up, even serving with his left arm. A superhuman effort yesterday by his partner, Miles Partain, to kind of make up for that injury is what got them here. We're going to have to see how that plays out today for the 40-year-old Paul Lotman.
Paul Lotman, third subluxation in 6 months, like you mentioned, on that shoulder. He's going to have to make some adjustments, especially from that service line. But when you look to this kid, we call him a kid because he's just 24 years old. We've seen him on the sands of the AVP since 2017. We call him, why not, the valedictorian out of Pacific Palisades. He truly is the whiz kid. No one plays defense, and no one has a mind quite like his. He, of course, is going to be our Selkirk player profile. The UCLA Bruin turned Olympian. He was the MVP of the AVP League in 2024, and one of the best setters you've seen in the indoor phase of the game. Glad to have him out here on the sands as we check in now with the third member of our crew, the two-time Olympian, Kevin Barnett.
Thanks, Cam. We're used to seeing players develop their volleyball skills throughout their time with us here on the AVP League and on AVP in Manhattan Beach Open, but we also get to see them develop as people. Miles Partain has been with us since he was a teenager. We've followed him through high school to college and then as an Olympian. He's been on this journey, and in this last year, he's started to try and engage more off the court. He's put a lot of effort into providing more value for the fans. He's posting regular Instagram debriefs following each day of AVP League play. He offers unique insight. He's making videos to engage fans, and he said he had to lower his standards a bit because he wasn't happy with the videos. And so he said, look, I just need to get reps, so I'll accept it. And he said AVP is fan first, so he's been engaging on the coaching side of the game with adult and youth mentorship. One of the most intelligent and thoughtful people we've ever had on the AVP. His goals this year, growing the game while maintaining an authentic presence. Never mind continuing to be the most talented young defender in America.
As we get set for the first serve, one of the most talented that you will see in the backcourt. Adding a little extra sauce is Miles Partain. There's that defense like you mentioned, Kevin. Quick turn for the southpaw. 0.1 to the 6th seed.
Yeah, good defensive play right on cue from young Miles Partain. You can see what Basey and Hurst are trying to accomplish, though. They're trying to push tempo. They're trying to run a lot of option. You're going to see some unique elements of the game of beach volleyball, as I mentioned, from this team. They're going to set balls over on two, do some things that you're not accustomed to seeing. But it's all very, very effective for this Colorado duo.
You mentioned Miles and his path to 2026. He initially started playing in the Manhattan Beach Open back in 2017, 2018. That's when he attempted to qualify, didn't make his way to the main draw as that ball goes well wide. And then all of a sudden in 2019, playing alongside his brother Marcus, finally broke through. And when I say finally, they were still just teenagers at the time, as this partnership with Lotman and Partain developed in 21 and has now gotten to back together in 2026.
Now there again, the option going just long for Hurst. You can see, I mean, just the word subluxation doesn't sound great, right? You don't certainly want to do it 3 times. Paul having to go lefty. I like that he's going jump floaty even with the lefty, and he's 2 for 2 so far. Basey trying to show he's got a left hand too, sends that one long as well. So a little bit of a slow start for the Colorado Cupcakes.
Yeah, pretty wild to see Paul Lotman back there working with the lefty. Said that shoulder popped in and out as that one tricks off the top of the net. Reaching, there's the scoop sent back. Cagey. Hurst up at the net. Saying that shoulder feels just right now, it's not necessarily about the pain, but it just feels weak and immobile. Might be working with that float serve as there's that chaos on the side of the Colorado fellas. Well off the net, high ball dug. Hurst. Hurst. Just wide.
Calibration a little bit of an issue early here for Basey and Hurst, just missing the mark there. That's their third hitting error. It's interesting to see them going after Partain. You know, sometimes it's the devil you know, so to speak, right? Rather than dealing with the option, serve Partain and know that the third contact is going to come from him, even with a significantly hindered Lotman.
Carving from the service line. Not often you see that as more chaos ensues. Full chase. Partain fixes his glasses and delivers a shot cross court. Big rip into the angle. Basey with a little extra base.
It's going to go down as just kind of a routine side out, but it was anything but. That initial play, as we look at the finish, the overset short was phenomenal creativity from Thomas Hurst. Boy.
Talk about blowing up the opponent right in the chest.
That time they go at Lotman. You're going to have to come with something a little more difficult from a serving standpoint against the Olympian Paul Lotman. Service reception is something he is extremely strong at.
And you look at that and think, why in the world? And you remember he's hitting it with his offhand.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me that he's going with the jump float version of that. It seems like standing and popping it in might be a little bit easier, but
You know, maybe you get a little elevation before.
yeah, maybe a little momentum helps you kind of guide that ball over the net. He's 2 for 3, so far so good.
Taking a look at Miles Partain, his best finish here at the MBO. Came back in 2024, like we mentioned, alongside Andy Benish.
That's going to be a key piece for Lotman Partain, as well as that serve of Miles Partain. If he can get on a roll with that jump serve of his that he's constantly tinkering with, it'll bode well.
7 of the 12 points already played, coming from errors as there's the first earn. A little extra fun on the side of Basey and Hurst. I asked them what their superpower was. They said, we just want to be fun to watch. Well, this, surely fun to watch.
They certainly are fun to watch, and that was crafty, that serve. Just a little slice and dice from the end line. Oh, boy.
What a bounce! That ball is sent to Hermosa Beach. Kevin, what'd you think of that swing?
I'll tell you, that's an exciting brand of volleyball, and that's what the Colorado Cupcakes have tried to become. They carry the weight of an entire state, not just their own identity here on the court. And they said folks always ask about the origin of the Colorado Cupcakes. Gage and Lars wanted to create the volleyball equivalent of the Savannah Bananas. They go to triples and quad tourneys all across the country and run plays and sometimes dress up. Once they played in aprons and oven mitts for an entire match. The goal is just to be family-friendly, entertain, and sell merch to help support their playing efforts. So the Cupcakes are Gage, Lars, Thomas, Ian Carlson, Riley Marshall, and Gage and Lars' cousin Becky Zimmerman. If you check them out online, you'll find their Instagram presence as well as some YouTube videos. They're really trying to create a brand around this sport that they love so much, and what a way to jump onto the national stage here in a semifinal in Manhattan.
Yeah, Lars, the older brother to Gage by about 5 years. I asked Gage, you know, he was also in the draw. Why weren't you playing with your brother? And he said, well, we're thinking more little long term. So he's partnered up alongside Thomas Hurst. But those Colorado Cupcakes, they said it all started back at Wapaka. Grass threes. And they said they wanted to have some fun in between the side out and before the swing. So they started playing rock, paper, scissors to make things more difficult. I'm like, well, that's one way to get it done.
I'd just like to know if there's actual cupcakes available. I'm a little hungry, Cam.
Great stories on the side of the 12th seed, Basey and Hurst, as that goes long. Now mirroring that of Lotman and Partain.
Yeah, racing the early deficit, and some of the service woes continue for Partain and Lotman.
Nice platform here from Partain. You gotta love it when you swing so hard your hat falls off.
It'll be interesting to see how long Basey and Hurst stick with that strategy of going at Partain. Talked a little bit about why that can be advantageous, but Partain seems to be in a particularly good offensive rhythm, and that's not typically a recipe for long-term defensive success.
Lotman telling me last night he feels like his partner is Superman this weekend. Some of the best ball he's seen him play.
Well, in that match against Buttinger and Trevor Crabb yesterday, he certainly was exactly that. Passed almost the entire court to kind of alleviate some of the stress on his injured partner and was putting away every second ball with reckless abandon.
Yeah, some tight scores. Went to some extra innings in that one, 22-20, 22-20, but a sweep of the #1 seed, Trevor Crabb, and Chase Buttinger. You don't know if it's gonna be a swing, but guess who knows exactly what it is? Up at the net, Gage Basey.
That's really nice block there from Basey. That will not deter the option game of Lotman and Partain, but Hurst and Basey get out a little bit of a lead at the midway point.
Needing to slow down the option. How about this? The big block from Gage Basey earns the 12 seed their first lead here in the men's semifinal of the AVP Manhattan Beach Open.
AVP Manhattan Beach Open on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. It's easy to bundle your home and car insurance at Progressive.com. And by Selkirk, the leading high-performance pickleball paddle brand backed by the pros. We are Pickleball.
We welcome you back to the Progressive AVP Manhattan Beach Open, just adjacent to the pier where the plaques and the trophies reside for this legendary tournament. As you now look to Thomas Hurst, it may have caught your attention, the fedora on his head, and wondered where in the world did he find that iconic look? Well, he actually used to wear a red Yankees hat, but he said he took a trip to Washington, D.C. to the National Spy Museum, which he also said he highly recommends. Saw a picture of a fedora, grabbed one there, and said one day he forgot his normal hat, put on the fedora, and it has stuck with him since. People started to recognize him after 6 months of wearing it, including that of Miss Patty Dodd. And he said once Patty knew who he was, that thing wasn't coming off.
He's also the leader of the Lost Boys alongside being a Colorado Cupcake.
Correct. It's already got a couple holes too. And some of the fringe back out after the 11-10 technical timeout.
A really nice run-through set there from the Fedora sporting Thomas Hurst.
Thomas Hurst playing in his first Manhattan Beach Open. Said it's one of the greatest feelings to make it to Championship Sunday. Partain.
Yeah, that ball well off the net, but Partain's range, his kind of hitting window is so large.
Yesterday in his debrief on social media, which Kevin enlightened you to, he talked about attacking more out of the middle and how he feels like that has really opened up some of his angles. Another sweet dig down the left sideline. Big block, make it another for Gage Basey.
Yeah, you can see him kind of chastising himself almost too, but that's twice now that Basey's gotten the big block in front of big swings from Miles Partain, both in that split block kind of variety. Spreading the arms right at the moment of attack and squaring up those swings from Partain.
Taking back the lead, Basey and Hurst. The pivotal point of contact for the 6th seed, that platform of Paul Lotman.
Yeah, again, Paul controls the ball and serve receive so extremely well. One of the many strengths of his game.
Miles Partain playing alongside Paul Lotman. They do serve as the Dallas Dream as the option mounts on the side of Basey and Hurst.
And that's a look too. Hurst, pretty decent distance off the net too, so their ability to run that option from just about any point in the court, what makes them successful. That's a few of those service errors though that they'd like to avoid. Doing a great job blocking defensively, so you want to put the ball on your opponent, give yourself a chance.
Big opportunity here for Lotman and Partain, as they have been eliminated from the Chicago Championships as the Dallas Dream. We saw them back in Dallas, and they were just, what, 1 set away from booking their ticket to the championships, and unfortunately didn't find what they were looking for, saying they were playing not to lose instead of playing to win. So a Manhattan Beach Open title, maybe that's just the little bandage you need.
Nice little knuckle pokey short for Miles Partain. You saw the statistic there. That is Miles' 14th attack. Lotman, 0.
They've almost gotten a little role reversal from the service line as another error mounts, though. You think about Lotman and Partain, traditionally it's Paul Lotman bringing all the pace.
Well, Paul obviously unable to apply too much pressure, serving with his left hand. Miles maybe trying to pick up a little bit of that slack, already his 3rd service mistake.
I think the cupcakes thing is really going to take over. Even our statistician Doug Strauss starting to write cupcakes, going on 2 more than Partain.
I got a friend that calls me cupcake, and I'm not so sure it's flattering. I like that they're rebranding that term.
Nice lift on the platform jump set from Basey. He said usually that's her skill. Sometimes he'll pull it out.
Well, yeah, they seem to complement one another perfectly, right? Both have similar skill sets, do all the kind of flashy stuff like the jump setting, etc., but do it very well. Run the option from both sides of the court, which just defensively puts you on your heels nonstop.
Tracy and David Hurst, mom and dad to Thomas, both college volleyball players, introducing him to the sport at just 9 years old. He said, I was unsurprisingly bad. Some of the notes from these two have just been fantastic, but loved every second of it, and he's been playing it ever since.
I like to describe my career similarly, unsurprisingly bad.
17 all.
It is officially crunch time, 18-17.
Lotman Partain hanging around, doing a great job of that. I feel like if Partain can find a little rhythm from the service line, they can maybe nudge ahead. It just has eluded him so far.
I mean, if you're Basey and Hurst right now, you got to be feeling pretty good. Like the door is wide open here after the numerous service errors.
Well, yeah, they had a few hitting mistakes to start things off. They've settled in nicely in a very, very good rhythm, gotten a couple blocks.
Another dimed pass. Second chance, Lotman Partain.
Yeah. I mean, Partain holding nothing back offensively. He is just tattooing balls. I mean, in game to go 6 rows deep into the stands is very, very impressive. Just walking to the restroom in the sand was a task for me, I feel like.
I was going to say he's a fan of the Savannah Bananas, as are the two on the opposite side. Option from the right. Easy look, Partain. Yeah. Just relentless on the attack.
And again, look at the angle he's able to create with little to no approach. Paul Lotman just has to put him up. Even 6 feet off the net or so, Miles can go hard cross court with pace. Excellent work, and they do, in fact, get back in front.
Looking for the tie. Hurst. A wicked angle.
Nice swing. You know it's crunch time, though, and you know that Paul doesn't like to see the errors mount from the service line. Went right-handed that time.
Maybe a little bit of game management here for Paul Lotman.
It's a tremendous swing. You could see Paul in the angle, but Hurst able to find even more angle, as Riley McKibben has informed us. There's always more angle.
Lotman Partain take a timeout here.
I like this. Dial in a little strategy at the pivotal moment of set number 1.
Every ball, we stay patient and looked at them. We realized they're the worst option team that we've gone against. They're not fronting, and we're killing them.
Yeah.
Every time we're not patient, we get the ball under us. That's when I made errors. When you made an error. That's when we hit it to them. We're doing a good job putting the pass in the zone it needs to be. Maybe we don't lift every time, but we stay patient. Worst case, best case for them is they jump with us and we jump set. Otherwise, you're going to see the whole court hit it.
Who's serving?
Where do we want this ball to go?
We want this ball to go, we want to look for an open spot, and we want to sort of aggressively make them move and pass.
Where do you want the ball?
Hit them in the chest.
A little extra insight on the side of the Colorado Cupcakes.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how matter-of-fact and calm that was from Thomas Hurst. The breakdown there, talking about their option play and kind of what those options are, right? If you feel like you're being fronted, go ahead and jump set the ball.
Tough serve. Gets Lotman Partain a little off the net. Opportunity for a reel, and it's all Gage Basey.
That is phenomenal. I mean, first of all, Lotman, his first swing of the match, almost gets the kill. It's a scrambling play just to keep it alive from Basey Hurst. But that ultimate shot from Basey, well off the net, hard cross court, very, very high level.
That was a look at the first set point. Rich Lamborn, you hate to see it. 20-all, but you saw that analytical nature of Thomas Hurst. I talked to Gage Basey about it. He said he's way more analytical than me. I like less of that. You want to almost go in blind for him and just have the freedom of mind to read and react. Otherwise, he overthinks things. Let's see if he overthinks this one. Jump set. A beauty.
Yeah, just great work with the hands. That looked like it wasn't necessarily the body position from which you could set the ball cleanly, but Hurst making some magic there. Gage Basey does seem to be a little bit more creative in his approach to the game. Artistic, maybe.
Second set. Point opportunity earned on an ace. He goes right back to the well for his second. Stealing set 1 from the number 6 seed. Basey and Hurst putting on a showcase here in the men's semifinal of the AVP Manhattan Beach Open. Tonight at 7 Eastern, head out to the pitch for a United Soccer League showdown on CBS Sports Network as Union Omaha and the Richmond Kickers go head-to-head. From the pitch to the beach. The Manhattan Beach Pier, you can see just at the end of it, 928 feet long as the set one stats now in full effect. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn. The missed serves were truly critical in that matchup, but really what stood out for the 12 seed?
Yeah, I think they settled in to that opening set. Their service pressure, they had a few too many errors, but that chop serve that ended set number one, that Gage Basey, he had 2 aces with that exact same serve. And with Partain kind of leaning middle, trying to help out his injured partner in service reception, that is such a critical weapon to have. Look for Basey to go back to that a few more times here in this second.
Well, let's take a look at our progressive performance on Gage Basey. You mentioned the service pressure, carving to the sideline, the big time blocks. That was the first, shutting down the option play. Ever critical against the team of Lotman and Partain, and there's the second for the young 22-year-old as he closes out set number one with a sliding dagger.
Yeah, those are carbon copies of one another. The first came early, the second he held until the last moment to close out set number one. And again, just kind of the creativity and the ability to execute, one of the strengths of this Hurst Basey team.
If you're just joining us, welcome to the Manhattan Beach Open. Lotman Partain, a pair of Olympians on the right side of your screen. The left, the young upstarts, just 22 years old, and Basey and Hurst. As Partain going to try and change the tide here. There was just one total attack for Paul Lotman in the first as he is dealing with a shoulder injury. Saw him serving left-handed.
Yeah, this is a piece that needs to improve in this second set for Lotman and Partain. That serve, that's his 5th service error. That jump serve, he went to the floater late just to kind of keep it in play. Might have to do that a little bit here in the second as well.
Miles Partain went 11 of 18 in set one from the attack as he's up on the net, protecting his partner from the top rope.
Yeah, and how about the awareness too? You see him almost body check Paul to get out of the way so he can get up there and deal with that overpass. Yeah.
That's what Paul was gonna have to go with. Little tomahawk.
Or the lefty dunk. Let's see which arm he goes with from the service line here. It looks like he's lining up to go right-handed.
And he does just that to the shoulder of Hurst. Working their own option play. Basey saying that it's not necessarily a foundation of their offense. However, it just gets mixed in. They feel like their scheme becomes ever more adaptable as they face teams.
It seems like a foundation here. They're going to it quite a bit and with great success thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. Lotman making mention that it's interesting to see the 4 teams in the semifinals on the men's side have spent a significant amount of time on the sand alongside one another.
Yeah, great put away there in transition, great defense to start that off, and it was in fact Partain taking a little bit off the serve, keeping it in play, getting a less than perfect pass that sets up that scoring opportunity.
Goes away from the jump top spin. They're all out of sorts on the side of Basey and Hurst.
Yeah, check the south side, left side of the court for Sand Monster. It looked like somebody grabbed Thomas Hurst. Dragged him to the ground.
Didn't know there was one of those here in the South Bay. Lotman Partain starting both set one as well as set two with a 5-2 advantage. A couple early hitting errors in the first for Basey and Hurst. This time the option's going the other way as little chatter is sent to the opposition.
Yeah, this is something that Basey and Hurst both do, I think, extremely well. They're sort of facing the other side of the net, right? Which is deceptive as to whether or not they're going to go on two. They're in position to set the ball well, but they can also go straight over the net. Yeah.
the 23rd attempt for Miles Partain, as opposed to just one on the other side.
Yeah, that one for Paul Lotman was basically out of necessity. He had a pass that was less than perfect, so he had to get set. Partain, though, anytime he's got the chance, he's going to swing away.
You can even see Paul on the set. You imagine pulling up both of those hands, not the easiest task either. Little shot selection for Basey Hurst.
Yeah, one of the things that makes that option play so difficult, that set, technically speaking, not in the perfect position, but that motion means that Paul Lotman and his block are not in front of Gage Basey, so he can just tap it down even though it's not in that perfect range where he would like it to be.
Fighting off the middle serve. Another bouncer.
Partain the Punisher.
You want a Wilson, you want a Wilson, you get a Wilson. I thought that was Mark Sherman's job, throwing out the mini balls.
Well, Partain sending out full-size balls into the crowd.
Beautiful layout, Partain.
How about the touch from the kid? That was not the set he was looking for. Lotman unable to get that thing all the way up to the net. But the poise and the ability to execute a shot. If you've ever played no jump against Miles Partain, you know how crafty he is with his shot-making ability, and that was a look at it there.
6-2 run now for the 6th seed. Another quick jump set. This time, Paul Lotman's on it. No fooling him. The first for Lotman.
Yeah, I like how he doesn't bite on the jump set. Just quick slide to his left. Gets the hands up.
It feels good to be here. Yes, it is the cool side. It is the north side. I feel like we've got some very
The 9-4 advantage
agile
underneath the tent for the whiz kid and the Olympian as well to his right. You got to think about the mental fortitude for these two as well. Taking the loss in Dallas, coming back out to Manhattan Beach. He said there was absolutely a grieving process after Dallas for Paul Lotman. Felt like he let Chicago somewhat slip away. And now looking like they're playing to win here in the 2nd set.
Okay, what do you think about it?
One of the adjustments that they've made that I love is that Partain just keeping his serve in. Now floating balls deep, putting some pressure on the offensive game of Basey and Hurst to earn their side outs rather than giving them freebies. He's given them 5 thus far with service mistakes. So that's a nice little upgrade for Lotman and Partain here in set number 2.
In the midst here of the 2nd set, as we introduce you to We Need to Talk, Wednesday at 7 Eastern. Join the women of We Need to Talk as they keep you up to date on the biggest topics in sports right here on CBS Sports Network. But a great view of the progressive AVP Manhattan Beach Open. One of the premier titles with the AVP, as the numbers now on screen for Lotman and Partain. Another premier title soon to be given out on the shores of Lake Michigan for the AVP League Championships. Neither of these two will get a shot at that title. Partain and Lotman were on the outside looking in.
We rightfully talk about the iconic nature of this tournament and what it means historically in the sport, but Oak Street Beach in Chicago, also iconic. Can't wait to get out there.
One of the best environments in the game, as is this. Jump set. I mean, how much stress does that put on a block and defense?
It puts a tremendous amount of stress. You can see Paul didn't really bite on the previous jump set from Hurst. Bites this time and kind of ends up in no man's land. I tend to be a believer that
thus far.
Yeah, that's just sort of self-deprecating, I think. Both of these guys, very, very well-rounded skill sets. Yeah, sneaking that one just past the tape. That's a critical piece for Basey and Hurst, is putting those flat, hard serves on Lotman, making it a little more difficult for him to control that reception. We saw it on the serve prior where Lotman was forced into an attack. Partain's window is so big, he can hit from just about anywhere on just about any height of a service reception. Oh, that'll work.
Adding in the one off the top of the net. He's going right back. We've seen this maneuver before.
Can you be Eskimo brothers with the net? Paul and Miles just giving the net a little kiss in appreciation for that trickle.
I call that some net love. 7-3 the run now. Loses his hat, can't find the dig. As Basey and Hurst try and hang on here. The advantage 5 now for Lotman and Partain heading into the technical timeout. Miles Partain from the service line doing some soft damage, some light work. Right off the top of the net, and the advantage continues for Lotman and Partain.
Why Bartleby? She legit had a donkey named Bartleby. That's fantastic when you were a kid. Yes, what about yours?
All right, this is Dilly the donkey.
Dilly the donkey. This is Mark. Your donkey's name just happens to be Mark. Okay, whatever. And? Don Quixote. Don Quixote, yes, very nice, very nice. What a series of names. Okay, Bartleby, Dilly Donkey, Mark, and Don Quixote. You will ride your donkeys one full lap around. Don't you be cutting quarters, okay? We're gonna go one full lap around. Once you get to this corner, I will be standing there. You must go around me and to the net for the finish line. No, starting right where you are and going all the way around. You'll figure it out. We are playing for AVP 360 passes for the rest of the day. You're gonna get 2 of them. And you know what? You ready, DJ Amy? They're ready. I'm ready. Let's get it going. Wait for it. Wait for it. Under 2, DJ Amy. And they're off. One full lap. I'm looking for proper form. Nice job, Bartleby. Bartleby taking the inside track. Dilly Donkey in second. Coming in hot. Coming in hot is Mark. Oh my goodness. Mark around the third turn. It's Mark. Bartleby followed closely by Dilly Donkey, and coming up in the rear is Don Quixote.
The Wilson looming over championship court as the AVP rolls on. And we want to encourage you to become an AVP Gold member. It's easy to do so. You can get all access to everything AVP, discounts on every ticket, every event, every season. Get in the game and experience everything the AVP has to offer. Your Gold membership can be found at members.avp.com. Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn, Kevin Barnett down on the sand, and a look to Miles Partain hitting .593, 19 kills, and we haven't even closed out the second set as you look at the progressive stat pack on the 24-year-old.
Yeah, we are highlighting the 5 service errors, but that was set 1. That was then, this is now. Lotman and Partain making the shift, keeping the ball in play, trusting their block and defense a little more, and that's what has them at this 5-point advantage.
Yeah, you see it from Miles Partain kind of shaking out as he gets ready for the second set, staying nice and loose.
Got to shake it out. You know, sometimes you do the curls, you just got to shake out the biceps a little bit. When you're hitting .593 and you're the young kid, you got to make sure that thing's loose.
Looks locked and loaded at this point. Just 2 total attacks for his partner in Paul Lotman. Has yet to see a kill. He doesn't need to. Give it to his partner. Here's number 3. That's his first of this match.
Yeah, little fist pump for Lotman. Everyone in the crowd knows that's his first. Brings his hitting efficiency back to 0, right where he likes it.
And with a poke, too. Slow down, Paul Lotman. Too much heat on that one.
Maybe a little overexcited about that kill. Misses that serve into the net. This is kind of a critical juncture if you're Lotman Partain in this second set. Focus has to stay dialed here, take advantage. Nice play to recycle that from Partain.
From the right to the left, Hurst. Really solid control on the transition move.
Yeah, good push on that set from Basey all the way up to the net. But it was that little miscommunication in the midst of that rally there from Lotman and Partain that kind of derailed their efforts in that play.
Oh, Lotman could be considered the elder statesman of this quartet as another block comes wide of the court. Hurst almost got his first. 40 years old for Paul Lotman. His partner 24 and 22, a pair on the other side.
Yeah, they have great synchronicity as a duo, though. Lotman has spent some time coaching Miles Partain, just knows his partner very well. They speak the same language. And I know you're saying, what is that, English? Yes, it is, but they also have a very kind of specific volleyball language that they speak with one another.
Now getting back together after winning their first title alongside one another with the AVP. Back in Atlanta, Miles Partain wasn't even old enough to drink the winning champagne, the trophy at the end. Another ripper.
Yeah, again, that is not a particularly high pass. It's in perfect position off the arms of Lotman, but Partain is just able to make something spectacular out of that.
Partain's found 5 kills on the option play thus far in set 2. That's his second dig in the second. And why not add one more to the mix?
It almost feels like Miles is more comfortable with a straight up and straight down kind of approach. You see him kind of come in, have to abbreviate that run up. Just able to find the middle of the court perfectly.
We talked about Partain shifting some of those attacks, maybe more so inside out into the middle of the court as opposed to just steady on the pin on the right side. It's Partain and Lotman remain at 17-11. Another quick touch. Partain is unloaded this time. Checks it down as we check in with Kevin Barnett.
This performance by Miles Partain starting to remind me of April Ross when she played alongside Carrie Walsh Jennings when she injured her shoulder and they were in the midst of trying to qualify for the Olympic Games. And you saw April morph into an absolute volleyball monster. And Miles here doing the same thing, taking everything on 2, converting everything out of the back row, taking on that same role is reminding me of that. I wonder if Rich is having similar vibes.
I would agree with that comparison. It's a wonderful comparison. Sometimes when you have the wounded animal on your side of the net, it just draws a little something extra out of you. It steals the focus a little bit, and we saw that a lot yesterday. Oof.
Ace number 3 for Basey.
Yeah, that's something they needed. Yeah.
Oh, he's gotta go and kiss it.
There you go. Starting a tradition. Lotman and Partain. Good humor even as the recipients of the triple ace.
They pass the baton to Basey. Finds another off the top. Well managed, lefty attack. The block is still there for Paul Lotman.
His second, doubling his number of kills.
How many times have you ever said that?
Yeah, it's not going to happen a lot. Certainly, this is a unique circumstance, of course. And as Kevin pointed out, something we've seen once or twice in volleyball. You don't see it very frequently throughout the history of the game.
Paul Lotman has had an incredible career, you think, to his rookie season with the AVP, but even further back than that with the men's indoor national team. He was a product of Long Beach State. He was the co-player of the year back in 2008. Played several seasons overseas, including Greece, France, and Italy, Poland, Germany, you name it. He was there as another block is just long of the service line.
Yeah, Basey's had a relatively good read on where he wants to be against Miles Partain. Gotten his hands on some balls, but that's a testament to how hard Miles is hitting these balls, that off the hand it goes deep of the end line.
Looking for set number 3, Lotman and Partain. They would have find themselves in the Manhattan Beach final.
I love how calmly they operate. Even in this deficit, even facing a third set here in the semifinals, they don't look rattled, right?
Yeah,
Cupcakes.
and in a position that they've never been in. Again, the first Manhattan Beach Open for Thomas Hurst. And right now playing on Sunday against the 6th seed. Down by 5 here. And right back. Set number 2 belongs to Lotman and Partain. We will play number 3 for a spot in the AVP Manhattan Beach Open.
Wait and see the clock. I know we got a little bit though. We have got a little bit of time. So you know what? We're going to play a good old 4 minutes. Yeah. We're going to play a good old game of last fan standing. Last fan standing. So I need everybody who wants to play to stand up. Everybody stand up where you are if you want to have a shot to win this medium-sized Wilson Optics volleyball. All right? I like it. Here we go. Last fan standing. Here's the thing. If I say something that pertains to you, I need you to sit down, okay? If it pertains to you, you sit down. We're looking for the last fan standing. Let's see. If you did not have coffee this morning, please sit down. No coffee yet. Oh, wow. Look at all those wonderful people. Everybody else is fully caffeinated. Yes, I love it. If you are wearing, it's going to be a big one early, Daniel. If you're wearing sunglasses, please sit down. I am so sorry. Yeah, you can't lie about that one. Can't lie about that one. Nope. All right, let's see my little list here. Let's go. All right. Yes, if you are wearing tennis shoes and socks, please sit down. Nicely done. Most of you are still standing. Yes, we are down to, you know what? Not a lot of people. Not a ton of people. Let's see. If you live in the state of Texas, please sit down. Texas, sit down. Yes, I apologize. If you live in the state of Hawaii, please sit down. There's a few of you out there, I know. If you live in the state of Colorado, please sit down. If you live in the state of California, I apologize, but you must sit down, please. Oh my goodness, we don't have that many left. Raise your hand if you're still in. I need to see if you're still in. We got a few up on the pier. Yes, okay. If you are, you know what, put both of your hands up. Both hands up if you're still in, only if you're still in. If you are left-handed, put your left hand down and sit on down. Left-handed people, sit down. Yes, if you are legit ambidextrous, sit down. If you're right and left-handed. No, none of you solid right-handers going on here. If you have never played volleyball, sit down. All of you, we still got, yes, listen, you played volleyball? You sure? All right, just make sure you started to sit down. Fantastic. All right, let's see. If you have ever broken a bone, sit down. If you have been around a long time, are you sure you've never broken a bone? Okay, I'm just making sure. If you have got a birthday in the month of August, sit down. If you have been to Shellback, stay standing. If you have not been to Shellback, sit down. If you have not been to Shellback, all right, raise your hands high. Who's left? Who's left? You. You. Oh my goodness. If you have.
Time for a look at Operation Smile as we present the biggest smiles of the day. You know it's not the Manhattan Beach Open without a little dizzy bat, and we brought them out in full force in terms of the contestants. I don't think I've ever seen a larger dizzy bat race. This might be a Guinness Book of World Records.
That was a lot of vertigo in one volleyball court right there. That game of dizzy bat.
Some crossing routes in there. Can't believe there was no collisions as you look to the stats, through the first two, as we now are about to get underway in the deciding set between Paul Lotman, Miles Partain, Gage Basey, and Thomas Hurst, and really the second set stands out.
Yeah, the hitting statistics for Lotman Partain, the full double up, hitting 700, adding in 10 digs as well for Miles Partain. It was a wonderful performance. The thing that I like the most is they kept the ball in play from the service line. That was pretty critical to their success. 5 service errors in the opening set, too many. And they fixed that, and they got the victory. Let's see how the teams come out here in the third set. What adjustments, if any, are made.
Couple of numbers for you that were not on that full screen is Cupcakes. Well, the Colorado Cupcakes were 7 of 11 on the option attacks in the second set. And for Miles Partain, he was perfection in the second, hitting 14 kills on 17 attempts, 0 errors alone, 824 in the second. Third set, here we go. To 15 for a spot in the Manhattan Beach Open final. Stealing that from the sand is Miles Partain as he sends it right back.
A little bit of miscommunication there. I think Paul thought that Miles was going to go option on that first one. Wasn't quite ready, but they made it work somehow. A great defensive play again from Partain to keep it alive. Earned the opening side out. See how much Basey and Hurst go to the option here. You mentioned 7 of their 11 kills came in option variety. There is a stuff, the third, I believe, for Paul Lotman. Doing a great job at the net. You know, it's kind of like when you lose one of your senses, the other senses pick up the slack. If you don't have the attack game because your shoulders faced its third subluxation, sometimes your blocking picks it up.
This third set played to just 15 points. There's the jump set from Hurst. Pull out the protractor.
Great angle on that. And I continue to be impressed by how calm this duo from Colorado, how calmly they approach the game. A little bit of a missed contact there. Yeah, on that ball was Thomas Hurst, but can't keep it on his side of the net. That's kind of that two-piece transaction we talk about defensively. You got to make the good read, you got to make the good move, but then you've got to make the high-quality contact as well once you're there.
The 3-0 start here for Paul Lotman and Miles Partain. Still working with a jump float. And the right hand this time. Lotman loads. Not enough there.
Yeah, just smoothly guiding that one into the cross court, Thomas Hurst.
Number 3, first to 15 goes to the final. The loser gets third.
You think about these two, just 22 years old, the future ever bright. And for those who have watched Basey and Hurst over the last year, not surprised to see them in this semifinal.
Yeah, indeed. And that is hard to put down against Basey and Hurst. That's kind of their ball game, the overset. I was trying to work in something that's a little out of character.
They've been working their way up through the AVP.
That would be in the you can't kid a kidder category.
Another quick touch. This has to go. Lotman with a sigh of relief there, pulling the hands.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. Remember, set number 1, they started with a few hitting mistakes. Set number 3 is where those errors of any variety become all the more critical. Shortened set to 15. You can't abide too many mistakes.
Beautiful delivery.
Good read from Paul.
I mean, he looks like he's setting on hardwood. Just so controlled from a body positioning standpoint.
Yeah, he's able to kind of rotate in the air also, right?
Adding that extra layer of deception. Thomas Hurst. Basey fends one off at the net. I don't know how the angle worked there for Hurst. Dropping. Miles Partain has put on a wonderful performance in this semifinal. 1 point advantage. The lowest seed to ever make it into a Manhattan Beach Open final, a 9th seed. If Basey and Hurst, in fact, picked up this 3rd, they would own the record as the 12th.
Great spot defensively for Partain. Oh, that's a big missed opportunity, and that's something we've seen from him a lot in this match. He's been otherworldly offensively, but drags that one down into the tape. So kind of 1-1 for the teams as far as missed scoring opportunities, and we're level at 5.
Lower set for Lotman, and that's the most heat we've seen.
Yeah, I like that, though. That lower set gives Paul an opportunity to just kind of get that arm above his head, pop the ball. You see, not his full arm swing that we're accustomed to seeing that's so powerful, but he gets just enough on it. Guides it well.
Still to come here on CBS Sports Network, the second men's semifinal. Andy Benish, Taylor Crabb facing off against James Shaw and Cave Schalk as another error rises on the side of Basey and Hurst. In fact, it was inbounds?
Yeah, caught the sideline.
I was gonna say, the quick call, I was going off of Paul Lotman and Miles' reaction.
Well, Miles, I think, thought it was going wide. It did catch some rope. Good swing.
Biggest moment now for Basey and Hurst in their young career, playing in the semifinals of the MBO. Knotted with the 6th seed. Set 3.
Yeah, good communication there. You can hear Partain letting his partner know that that ball's sailing long. Well left by Lotman.
Neither Paul Lotman or Miles Partain own a Manhattan Beach Open title. Partain has made a final. Chest dig. They're not liking that open hand contact. However, another shot taken. Partain. Once more.
Again, out of the middle. And how deadly has Miles Partain been? Just keeps swinging away and swinging away.
You got to look back at this one for the Beach Juice juiced up moment. I don't know if the highlight is the chest dig from Miles Partain or off the shoulder, or that last and final swing, just relentless on the power and the force. For your Beach Juice juiced up moment, no approach, no problem. Quick feet, and another. He is now at 29 total kills. I don't know the last time I have seen someone hit 30. Have you? Can you recall a time you've seen 30 kills in a match?
Yeah, typically that's not what you see. I mean, it's especially because his partner has 2, I believe.
2 kills and 9 total attempts for Paul Lotman. Miles Partain with an astonishing stat line. 29 kills on 44 attempts. It makes you even almost ignore the 16 digs, which is a wild number in its own right.
Yeah, that is a wild number indeed, and certainly the 29 is such a big number. As you said, it takes a little bit of the shine off of that 16, but those 16 so important. They're doing a nice job, as I mentioned, of keeping the ball in play, forcing Gage and Thomas to really have to earn their side outs, giving Miles an opportunity to keep racking up those digs and those kills in transition.
You mentioned just the mental fortitude of this pairing, the steadiness. It seems as if they have not been rattled throughout the entirety of this match. Surprising for 22-year-olds.
Yeah, I think they have an incredible poise, but they're up against it here. You know, like that poise lasts only so long. It's the semifinals of the Manhattan Beach Open. Everybody's going to feel pressure at some point. They do a good job of hiding it, but no doubt it is percolating internally at the very least.
Lotman Partain earning the 2-point lead. Little bump jump set for you. Cushioned. Nobody home. The highlight to Basey and Hurst.
Kind of earmark that play at 8-6. If Partain's able to put that ball away, you feel like everything is going the way of Lotman and Partain. But that dig by Gage Basey keeps his team afloat here in the third. Maybe even helps them generate a little bit of momentum to come back. Nudge in front.
A spectacular dig, keeping it on their side of the net, creating a transition opportunity. Basey in the backcourt again. Joust won by Hurst.
And there you go, 2 points in succession. So rather than 9-6, it is 8 apiece. Let's look at that joust. Thomas Hurst with a little extra push from the extension of his fingers.
It's really the first 2-point lead we had seen in this third set. And now the call over the net for Basey and Hurst. Do you agree with this?
I think that is the correct call. Thomas just got to that a little bit quickly. We'll see here. Watch him curl the fingers over. Yeah, the hands fully over. Miles has rights to that ball so long as it's on his side. Any sliver of the ball that's over the plane that kind of extends through the top of the tape is fair game. Thomas just didn't quite give it a chance to get there before he contacted it.
Regaining the lead after the call over. Hurst tracking left, a little cross body back down the line.
Yeah, a little slither off of the right hand of Lotman. Nice job changing tempo on that swing.
Do you deal with the option? Or do you deal with the 1-2-3? Hurst for a reel. Slaps it to the corner.
Finds the sideline.
The first lead for Basey and Hurst since set 1.
Indeed, yeah, and what they're doing a nice job of is ramping up the service pressure. A little bit of a deep floater, flattening this thing out, making it difficult for Lotman. Oh, that finds the baseline. He's gonna challenge.
Another ace for Basey and Hurst as Lotman can't believe the call.
Yeah, see if we get another look at this one. He's trying to challenge, he's getting waved off. Here we go. I mean, that ball is awfully close. See if we can see it here. Yeah, that ball looks long to me, Cam.
Yeah.
That ball looks long. I'm not sure if the conversation is that one of our officials saw the line bounce, because if that's the case, that is kind of the caveat to the challenge system. You can look at the ball mark. That's really, really unfortunate at this juncture. It did indeed look long.
Extending the 4-1 to a 5-1 run, Basey and Hurst. And you can't blame Lotman and Partain for taking a timeout.
And again, go back to that swing at 8-6 that Partain had, that Basey scooped, kept it on his side, as you mentioned. That was maybe the pivotal play of this third set, as they now have a 2-point advantage and force a timeout.
You know, as much as Miles Partain has been carrying the offensive load, it is intriguing. You look to the other side, Hurst and Basey, it's been relatively equal in terms of the management. 35 swings for Basey, 28 for Hurst. You hear some of the insight and some of the blocking, the analytics coming in full effect on the side of Hurst and Basey.
Well, you're getting in really tough spots. I got to block the ball. I'll give you a chance to dig it, right? Here we go. Side out. We're good. We're good. Let's go right here.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I continue to be impressed with the poise of Basey and Hurst. They seem so calm at this juncture of a semifinal match on Championship Sunday in Manhattan Beach. Paul and Miles having a very calm discussion as well. Paul just recognizing that he needs to get that pass up in the zone where Miles can take care of it on 2. Easier said than done. That one is indeed wide. A little point to the official saying, we're sure on that one? Okay.
Just double checking.
The level of sarcasm that you're faced with as an official in the sport of volleyball is pretty significant.
Lotman connecting with his partner here. Where will he locate this serve? Watch out for the option attack. On Hurst. Covers with an open hand contact again.
Yeah, Paul's going to have a second glance at the official. Not in love with that first contact. We're just going to see the finish here. Nice little wrap around the outside of the ball there. Gage Basey guiding that one to the sideline. That was one of the things Paul talked about in the timeout, his need to kind of solidify his block, and got the good first touch. And how about that? Thomas Hurst with his first one. What a time for it.
Getting in the mix. Thomas Hurst with the monster block. 13-10. The Fedora rocking championship court. Straightens that thing out as he anticipates another. Drop into the sand. Another scoop. Well wide of the court. It's time for Lotman and Partain to make a move here.
Need to make something happen. We've talked about how great Partain has been defensively. Lotman's got 3 blocks to go along with those 16 digs from Partain. They need another one here.
The 12 seed positioning themselves flawlessly, flying through that dig. Partain challenging the block, and he wants to get back to the NBO final. Scratching, clawing, fighting. That of Miles Partain.
Yeah, the body control on that from young Miles Partain, sliding to his right, still able to keep that platform out in front of him and get that ball back to his left side. Fantastic work.
Trailing by as much as 3. Now down by 1. Trading sides here again, playing to 15 points, and another quick strike. It's chaos and connection on the side of Basey and Hurst.
That is the zone in which they exist, in which they are comfortable, that chaotic zone. A couple of match points for the 22-year-olds.
And their first time in the main draw. Will they book their ticket to the Manhattan Beach Open final? Match point. They're gonna have to do it with a side out here. The lowest seed to ever make it into the final of the NBO was the 9th seed. Basey and Hurst are just 1 point away from changing that record. Target acquired. Hurst with a shot. He gets it done! Gage Basey and Thomas Hurst are moving on to the NBO championship match.
What a match that was. Partain a little disappointed. He was right in position to get that dig. Just got a little low off his arms. Paul couldn't track it down. And Basey Hurst, a gargantuan effort, specifically from the middle of that third set where they were trailing, made some great plays to close it out. And as you mentioned, become the lowest seed to make it all the way to the finals here in Manhattan Beach.
You know these two want to see the bracket updated. Throw that number 12 seed into the final. We've got one more semifinal coming your direction here on CBS Sports Network. Schalk and Shaw, the 3 seed, will face off against probably the favorite in terms of the Manhattan Beach Open, Andy Benish and Taylor Crabb, the number 1 seed in Chicago. But what a performance. Basey and Hurst moving on. Championship Sunday continues for the duo.